Howdy folks, Elkrex here. Welcome to Thoughts from the Inner Sphere, episode 13. And today we're going to be talking about the Marauder. It's that 75-ton mech that everybody loves, but just drives them nuts a lot of times, because this is what you call a Battletech hot mech. Now, what we have is a 75-ton mech that is a 460 mover, doesn't have any jump jets. Carries 16 heat sinks, 184 points of armor, which is 11.5 tons, and carries 2 PPCs, 2 medium lasers, and the infamous autocannon 5, AC5. Now, where to begin? This is the one mech that I see a lot of individuals when they're playing it, it gets hot. It just starts cooking off. And a lot of times the problem is that individuals will love to take this mech and fire both PPCs and the autocannon downrange, and you're going to be basically the first, if you moved at all, this mech, the next turn has movement modifiers. It's already up on the heat scale. They do this 2 turns in a row like that, suddenly they're not hitting as well. They're running the chance, depending on what they're firing, is that they may have a chance of shutting down, all right, on the low end of the scale. But the that's just because there's only 16 heat sinks, and this thing with the 2 PPCs is pumping out 20 heat. It's up 4 already. If it moves, that's 5. If it runs, that's 6. Fires that autocannon, well, geez, you're moving up there, getting into the 8 range right off the bat, just depending. And then if you get those really individuals that just love to take those, oh, let's throw in the medium lasers, we're close enough, we can destroy somebody in one shot. No, next thing you know, it's like they do that 2 turns in a row, and there's like punching the cockpit override buttons, and hopefully it doesn't shut down, or that the AC5 ammo is going to go kabooey, because it overheated. Now, this mech with its 184, it's kind of 184 points of armor, is a problem in some ways. It's supposed to be, it's on the upper end of the assault mech, or not assault mechs, but heavy mechs. It's almost an assault mech, 5 tons away. And it doesn't have the armor really to go with its stats, right? There's quite a few times that I've seen this mech get itself into the front line, and next thing you know, it's getting ripped to pieces, and somebody hits that AC ammo and kablooey. You got a nice little crater. And that's the problem. It doesn't quite work well as a support mech, and it doesn't quite work as in the assault or on the front line. It's really not a master of anything, and it's just a really hard mech to master. Now, what I like to do with it when I'm out there is like I'll fire 1 PPC in the autocannon. Then the next turn I might fire both PPCs, no autocannon involved. And if I can help it get into a place where I don't have to move, let's say you moved into the previous turn, you moved into some heavy woods or light woods, and you're able to fire both PPCs. Next turn, you fire the 1 PPC and the autocannon, you dissipate that heat. This is how you use this mech. You fire either the 2 PPCs, nothing else. The next turn, you fire the autocannon and a PPC. And that's the only way you can get this mech to stay cool. Otherwise, like I said, it's a very hot mech if you don't know what you're doing. And then when you get in closer, you have a tendency, it's like, all right, you're going to shut those PPCs off. Now, if you get somebody in their face, you got the 2 medium lasers and the autocannon, all right? So, and then you fire 1 PPC, that isn't so bad, when you're going up in heat. The next turn, you may have to not fire either the PPC or the autocannon. All right, you got to figure out what you got to do to dissipate some heat on this thing. And if a target is too close to you, obviously you're going to have those modifiers with the PPC. So if they're within 3, you're going to have decrements to hitting. So that's usually the one thing I like to shut off, or find a target that's within 6 hexes. Say that 10 times fast. But yeah, that's the one thing you have to work with this thing. Now there's a few variants with this mech. Is the Davian, which gets rid of the AC5. I have a tendency to like this version, in place of a large laser, and giving it 2 more heat sinks. And that one has a tendency to work a little better, because when you get in close, you can use the large lasers, the medium lasers, and the autocannon, and just totally not use your PPCs. That is I always thought of as a better mech when it comes to taking something out and fighting with it. Or this one get to 20? Yeah, I think. Well, maybe it has 20 heat sinks. Yeah, I guess it is 4 tons. Then there's the then you don't have to worry about heat at all too much. Then there's the House Lyle version. Let's see what this one is. If I remember right. Well, House Mark has one that gets rid of the PPCs in favor of the heavy lasers. So you got 2 heavy lasers, an autocannon. That one actually works pretty decently. That keeps the heat down pretty good. It doesn't have quite the 10 points, but you're losing 4 potential points of damage for keeping your mech a little cooler. That isn't so bad. That was a pretty decent variant too. And then there's the House Lyle, which takes 1 PPC, makes it a large laser, and takes those 2 tons that you saved and puts it into heat sinks. And I've seen that one used before, but it's never one of my go-to. I'd rather use the House Merrick or the House Davian versions on the battlefield. So overall, it isn't a bad mech if you just have to realize this thing. There's no good, easy fix to keep this thing cool. You have to take your time and think about what you're doing, and then actually apply it and stick with it. Now, if an arm gets blown off, yeah, so much the better, or whatever. You know how it's just how the battlefield works, and things may change in the end on how you're doing things. But now what would I do personally? There's not much I would really do other than go with the one either. I always go with the House Merrick or the House Davian version, and that seems to actually solve most of the problems with this mech and takes care of it. So other than that, that's pretty much all we would do. A lot of times it just means either downgrading either the AC5 in favor of a large laser. That's a good deal. Don't have to worry about it exploding because of ammo. And then the other one was just downgrading the 2 PPCs to large lasers. And that works good. Either way. But hopefully this takes care of anything that you're thinking about with this thing. And we'll talk to you later. This is Hellcrix, and you have a great day.